Well, hello everybody. Most of you will join after I'm done here with this live broadcast. So, as promised in the description, what we're going to be talking about today, this week, is we're going to be talking about two practices that will improve. If you're in sales, all of us are in sales in some way, shape, or form, and this will improve um, your sales. If you're in leadership, it'll improve your influence and communication skills. Or, in our relationships, if we'll just practice these two things that I'm going to be talking about today, it'll improve our relationships that way too. So what I want to do is I want to start by reading a couple of short proverbs that kind of laid this out, and then I want to give credit to a couple of men who have influenced me uh, in this way. And I just realized that I didn't have my microphone on, so I don't know how much of that you just heard. So I'm going to start over, even in risk of maybe repeating myself. Today we're talking about two practices that will improve your sales if you are in sales, but we all are in some way, even if we don't have the title, sales person. It'll improve your leadership influence and effectiveness if you practice these two things. And third, it will improve your relationships if you practice these two things. So as I was saying, what we're going to do is we are going to start here with Proverbs, and I'm going to give credit to a couple of people. And thanks, Rhonda. She said that it did come in, so I did repeat myself. Oh well. Proverbs 18, verse 13 says, "He who answers before listening, that is his folly and his shame." Folly coming from the idea of being foolish. So he who answers before listening, that is his folly and shame. Maybe you've never been guilty of that, but I know I have. Almost waiting for the person to stop talking, or if I don't want to wait anymore, just interject, especially if it's a spirited situation. And then again in Proverbs 18, verse 15, says, "The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge. The ears of the wise seek it out." So you can probably just guess by me reading those two proverbs what the first one is. What we're going to be talking about is the first practice for all of us is we got to get better at listening. We got to get better at listening. And I am a long ways away from being where I want to be and being a good listener. But I did want to share some things that is working for me when I know that I'm walking into a meeting, when I'm preparing for a meeting, when I know that. I actually go through a routine now in my head about emptying my mind from all kinds of clutter or whatever so that I can be present in that conversation. Now, let's face it, a lot of people invade your privacy, right? You're working and they just assume you're not doing anything and they invade. And it's kind of hard to change channels, at least it is for me. I'm pretty intense in my work and whatever I'm doing. I'm intense right now in the things that I want to share with you because I don't want to waste my time coming on Facebook, sharing just nothing that matters, and I don't want to waste your time. So I try to be as succinct as possible, but when I can prepare for a conversation, I'm much better at listening because I will tell myself, shut up and just listen. And listening isn't just being stoic, in front of the person, which I can be too. I can be that also, but to, give feedback. And you've heard this, I'm sure, before. If you haven't, I'd be shocked. But I'm going to move into another topic that you probably haven't heard before. I know I didn't until I met Greg Bennett. But one of the best listeners that I know is actually on our board, Mark Bogus. He's an outstanding listener. And how do you know whether somebody's a good listener or not? It's because they say back to you what they're hearing, but often in different words or from a different angle. And it gives you an opportunity to find common ground, which is really important because in order to have a friendship, in order to have a business relationship, it starts with believing that you have common ground. And the reason why you write off some people and some organizations is because you felt like you have lost common ground. That it's not that you have to agree on everything, but you want to know that you've got some fundamental beliefs that are common in which you can build. So the first thing is listening, but that's not the one I wanted to spend a lot of time on. But I will say this. The next practice I'm going to talk about is a game changer. But if you do not practice better listening, you'll never get to what I'm about to say. And it's really the title of this coaching moment, which is Embrace the No. Embrace the No. Have you ever been in a sales situation where the salesperson is just selling and selling and selling and selling, telling you about this feature, that benefit, this feature? You're trying everything in your power to get out of that situation, but you just can't. So then what happens is you start trying to object, and every time you try to object, they come up with a solution. But it's a solution that's really not landing for you, and you're doing everything you can to get out of the situation without being a jerk, because you want to be liked. Everybody wants to be liked to some degree, and you just can't get out of it. So then what you do is you resort to some kind of lie. Some kind of crazy lie, right? Oh, don't tell me you haven't done it, right? You got to go pick up the kids from school and you forget they're standing right next to you. you try, or the great lie is, we'll think about it, right? Or if you're going to pull the Christian card, we'll pray about it, right? That always shuts up the salesperson, right? You do something that's a below the belt move. It's a lie. So let me share with you what the salesperson can do to connect. All right. So when you're listening as a salesperson, when you're listening as a leader, and you're hearing somebody object to something, you're hearing somebody push back on it, right? Somebody who's doing that. And if you're really listening, you just need to say what you're hearing, which is the truth. You ready? Here it is. So Jim, it sounds to me like you don't want to buy this car. Hey, Jim, it sounds to me like what you're saying is that you don't want to sign this contract. Jim, what it sounds to me is that you're not seeing a good fit here. Let's switch it now to a leader situation. So John, it sounds like what I'm asking you to do, you really don't want to do it. It sounds like you don't want to do it. This offer that I made you, it sounds like you're not interested. And what I'm saying is that you need to say that. You need to embrace the no. Now, salespeople are not taught how to do this. Salespeople are just taught how to overcome. Give this deal. Well, you know what? Today, because of you, for you, we'll do this. Just for today, we'll do this. They're not listening. Now, the power of the no is amazing, because until you tell the truth as a salesperson, as a leader, you won't find out the truth. Now, if my answer really is no, then don't be afraid of that, because you're not wasting time and energy trying to sell somebody that you're not going to sell. So when if they say back to you, you're right, Joe, I'm not interested. I thought I was, but I'm not. But rarely will that happen. rarely will that happen. Most of the time when I'm in situations, they don't know me, and right, and they throw the stats at me. Maybe you've had this happen to you, right? I remember telling a salesperson one time, I said, "You don't know me. And one thing about me is that I do what I say I'll do. And I will get back to you. I will consider this. I will call you." And then here's what he said to me. He said, "Our studies show," and I don't remember the number, but it was some outlandish number, "that if you walk off this lot, you will never come back." And it was like, 99.5%. And that might be true. That might be a true statement. I don't know. But if he would have said, "It sounds like you don't want to buy today," I would have said, "You're right. I don't want to buy today." And if he lets me go without some kind of a weird emotional fight, and I really am interested, I will grab his card, even though he's going to give it to me thinking, yeah, whatever, and I will call him back. But that's me. But there's a better reason even for saying bringing your client to a no, or bringing your colleague or those who work for you to a no. It's usually they object to the no. So if he would say, you really don't want to buy a truck today, and I would have said, "No, that is not true. Here's why I don't want to buy this truck today, this situation," and then I begin telling them the truth versus whatever else is going on. But let's switch gears to a relationship, right? Hey, how about you're talking about something and you're guessing. So why are you upset today? I'm not upset, right? Who hasn't been in that situation? You seem upset today. No, I'm not. I'm good. I'm good. But you're giving off these vibes, right? And these attitudes and these expressions where that loved one knows you so well that they know that you're upset. You're lying. You're absolutely lying because you don't want to embrace the no. You don't want to say, "I'm upset today. And I don't even know why. I'm just in a bad mood. Can you give me some space? Can you give me some space?" But when you lie, when you say, "Oh no, I'm good, I'm fine, yeah, nothing's wrong, everything's great," then you lie, they know you're lying, and it's an unresolved issue, right? There's an unresolved issue. I have a proposal for you. I want to challenge you to listen and to embrace the no. Say back the no to the person. Let the person out of the situation. In other words, when in that friendship relationship or that loved one relationship, if they say that they're fine and they're not, then the no is actually an acknowledgement of what they're saying. So you'd say, "Oh, okay, well, great. I'm glad you're doing great. I'm glad that there's nothing wrong. You feel great." And that's the same as embracing the no. It's just done, with the yes. So it gives them the absolute opportunity then to say, "Well, there is this." All right, so here's my challenge to you. I challenge you to embrace the no, to use that to let people off the hook so that they can tell you the truth. Try it in sales, try it in leadership, and try it in your relationships. Go ahead and try it. And if you learn something new, if you experience something new that's positive, I want to ask you to send me an email at jim@leadtodaycommunity.com. jim@leadtodaycommunity.com. That's my email address. And you can tell me the story by email, or by email you can say, "Hey, I want to tell you this story, and let's set up a video meeting." And what I'd like to do is I'd like to make this a February challenge. I think we have, about 20 days, about 18 days left in February. I would love to hear the story. And for those of you who will participate and get back to me on this, we will send you some fun Lead Today merchandise. All right, I went a lot longer than I had planned today. That was part of my goof up in my start. So, number one practice: listen better, engage, be present, and don't be afraid of the no. Embrace the no. Say what is not being said. Help stop the lies. Help people get to the no. And then you'll know the truth versus give them an opportunity to lie. All right, have a great week. God bless you all.